There is one hair attribute that trumps any other when it comes to choosing which products are going to work for your hair thickness. With hair thickness, we refer to the actual width of every individual hair strand. I like to categorize it in fine strands, medium strands, and thick strands. Traditionally, hair thickness can be called hair texture, and it's usually divided into fine, medium, and coarse hair. I, however, am not a big fan of those labels. I feel like they can be a little bit too confusing. Texture is about your strand diameter, but texture hair refers to people's curl pattern. And then the term coarse can also be misleading because it makes you think about a rough surface texture, but you can have thick strands that feel very silky to the touch and fine strands that are rough and damaged. So I like to use labels that refer to the strands as they don't leave any space for interpretation. To understand which type of strands you have, there's a few things you can consider. First, try to roll one strand between your fingers. If you don't feel anything, you probably have finer strands. If you feel it rolling and it's quite thick, like a sewing thread, you probably have thicker strands. If you feel something but it's quite subtle, you're not sure, you likely have something in between. But realistically, if you've never noticed an issue, you probably have medium strands. People with fine or thick strands tend to realize that they fall into these categories because it affects the way products work on them. This happens because hair thickness determines what type of texture you should choose in your product. Fine strands get weighed down very easily, so you should choose textures that are more lightweight. Think like sprays, lotions, runny formats, anything that isn't too heavy, oily, or buttery. Thick strands need a lot more moisture, so you should choose products that are thicker and richer, which are going to nourish and clamp your curls a lot better. It's very common to have different strands thickness on your head, but you don't have to use different products for each area. That would be way too complicated. For example, in my case, my hair is medium thickness. It's not too fine, it's not too coarse, but if you look at these pieces that are at the nape of my neck, they're a lot finer than the rest of my hair. So normally I tend to choose medium weight products, but apply a little less on the areas that can be weighed down. Or I use a bit more water to emulsify them and make them lighter. Keep in mind that having thick strands doesn't necessarily mean that you have thick hair. Thick hair refers to your density, aka to how many hair you have on your head. Let's learn more about it in the next episode.